11 signs a soul is carrying unfinished karma. Your soul remembers everything. Not in the way your mind remembers, not in words or images that you can pull up like files from a drawer. No, the soul remembers in a different language altogether. It remembers in sensations, in pulls, in inexplicable knowing that rises from somewhere deeper than thought. There is a ledger written across your soul, but it is not written in ink. It is written in energy. Every unresolved promise you made, every wound you left unmended, every lesson you walked away from before it was complete, all of it is still there, humming quietly beneath the surface of your everyday life, waiting for you to turn toward it, waiting for you to finally understand. What if the struggles you face today are not random? What if they are not bad luck, not coincidence, not punishment from an indifferent universe? What if, instead, they are echoes, echoes of choices you made lifetimes ago, calling out across the vastness of time, asking to be completed? In the next hour, I am going to share with you 11 unmistakable signs that reveal when a soul is carrying unfinished karma. These are patterns hidden in plain sight, woven into the fabric of your relationships, your fears, your health, your dreams. They are drawn from the Akashic readings of Edgar Cayce, the sleeping prophet who spent decades mapping the soul's journey across lifetimes, and from the ancient wisdom traditions that have always known, the soul does not forget. This is not about guilt. It is not about cosmic debt tallied by some distant judge. Recognizing these signs is about liberation, because understanding your karma is the first step to completing it, and completing it is the first step to freeing your soul for its next evolution. Some people feel it as déjà vu, a moment so familiar it stops them mid-breath. Others feel it as an inexplicable fear, a terror that has no origin story in this lifetime. A few feel it as a magnetic attraction to certain places, certain people, certain pains they cannot explain with logic alone. This is your soul speaking. And if you have ever wondered why certain patterns repeat no matter how hard you try to break them, why certain people feel like home the moment you meet them, why certain places call to you across oceans you have never crossed, then what I am about to share with you may be the answer you have been searching for. Let us begin. To understand the signs of unfinished karma, we must first understand the man who revealed them. His name was Edgar Cayce. Born in 1877 in rural Kentucky, he would become known as the Sleeping Prophet, a man who could enter a trance-like state and access information that should have been impossible for him to know. Over the course of more than 40 years, Cayce gave over 14,000 documented readings while in this state. People came to him with every imaginable question about health, about relationships, about the meaning of their suffering. And in thousands of those readings, Cayce revealed something that would change how we understand the soul's journey. He revealed the mechanics of karma itself. His teaching was radical, and it remains radical today. Karma is not punishment. Karma is curriculum. Each life you live is not a random assignment. It is a classroom designed by your higher self, tailored specifically to the lessons your soul needs to learn. You chose this life. You chose these circumstances, not because you are masochistic, but because you are unimaginably brave. Cayce spoke of the Akashic Records, a kind of universal memory bank that stores every thought, every action, every intention across all incarnations. Imagine a vast library where nothing is ever lost, where every moment of every life is recorded not as judgment, but as information. The Akashic Records are not kept by some external god. They are the fabric of existence itself, remembering. He also spoke of soul groups, clusters of souls who reincarnate together again and again, working out shared lessons, balancing shared karma. The people in your life are not accidents, they are appointments. You have known them before, you will know them again. And through it all, Cayce emphasized this: you have free will. Karma creates the conditions of your life, yes, but you choose how you respond to those conditions. You are not a puppet, you are a co-creator. This video is built on Cayce's framework, interwoven with wisdom from the Hindu and Buddhist traditions, from Hermetic teachings, from the mystery schools that have always understood. The soul is eternal, and it is always learning. You do not need to believe in reincarnation to recognize these patterns. You can see them as psychological loops, as relationship dynamics, as the inexplicable pulls and aversions that shape your life. Call it what you want. The patterns remain. Karma leaves fingerprints. Let us learn to read them. Before we dive into the signs themselves, we need to reframe what karma act to. Amalai is. Forget the popular image of karma as cosmic revenge, some celestial accountant tallying your sins and doling out punishments. That is not what karma is. Karma is incomplete energy. Think of it as a sentence left unfinished, a song cut short before the resolution. It is a conversation that ended mid-breath, and now your soul is trying to speak the rest of the words. The great mystery at the heart of human existence is this: why do some souls seem to glide through life, while others wrestle invisible forces at every turn? Why do certain patterns repeat despite our best efforts to change them? Why does the same type of person keep showing up in different bodies? Why does the same fear keep surfacing no matter how much therapy you do? Cayce's answer is both simple and profound. The soul chooses challenges before birth. Before you incarnated into this life, your higher self looked at the karmic ledger and said, "Here is what I need to balance. Here is what I need to learn. Here are the circumstances that will give me the best opportunity to do that work." And so you selected your parents. You selected your body, your circumstances, your obstacles, not because you wanted to suffer, but because you wanted to grow. There are four primary types of unfinished karma. Broken vows, promises you made in a past life that were not kept, oaths you swore and then abandoned. The soul remembers these commitments, and it will create circumstances in this life that give you a chance to keep them. harm caused, debts owed to others because of pain you inflicted, intentionally or not. This is not about punishment. It is about understanding. The soul that harms must eventually experience what harm feels like, not to be shamed, but to truly comprehend the weight of its actions. Lessons unlearned, patterns that repeated across lifetimes because the soul did not grasp the teaching. If you failed to learn boundaries in one life, you will be given another chance, and another, and another. The universe is endlessly patient with your process. And love unexpressed, soul contracts unfulfilled, relationships that ended before their purpose was complete, words that were never spoken, forgiveness that was never given. The 11 signs we are about to explore function as a diagnostic tool. They help you identify which type of karma you are actively working with right now. They are not meant to overwhelm you. They are meant to illuminate. Because here is the truth. If you can see the pattern, you can complete it. And the first sign appears not in what happens to you, but in what you cannot stop doing. There are behaviors in your life that you have tried again and again to change. You know they do not serve you. You can see clearly how they hurt you. You have read the books, gone to therapy, made the promises to yourself in the mirror at 3 in the morning. And yet, you keep doing them. Always choosing emotionally unavailable partners, no matter how much you swear this time will be different. Sabotaging your success the moment you reach a certain threshold, as if there is an invisible ceiling you are not allowed to break through. Playing the rescuer in every relationship, losing yourself in the needs of others, even when it drains you to the bone. These are not character flaws. They are not signs that you are broken or weak-willed. They are compulsive patterns, and they are one of the clearest signs that your soul is carrying unfinished karma. Here is the mechanism, according to Cayce. The soul creates pattern loops until the underlying lesson is learned. Repetition is the soul's teaching method. It is not cruelty. It is clarity. Your soul is saying, you did not understand this the first time, or the second, or the 10th. So I will show you again in a slightly different form until you finally see what I am trying to teach you. The reason these patterns feel compulsive, beyond your control, is because the karmic imprint exists in your etheric body, the energetic blueprint that underlies your physical form. This imprint lives below conscious awareness. Your conscious mind knows better. Your willpower is sincere, but your soul memory overrides it again and again because the lesson is not yet complete. Let me give you examples across different life domains. In relationships, you attract the same personality type in different bodies. The names change, the faces change, but the dynamic is identical. The emotionally distant partner, the narcissist, the one who needs saving, you might even recognize it as it is happening. Oh no, here we go again, and still you cannot seem to stop yourself. In your career, you reach a certain level of success and then retreat every time. You get the promotion and then make a mistake that costs you. You build momentum and then sabotage it with self-doubt or procrastination. It is as if there is a thermostat set at a certain temperature, and every time you exceed it, something inside you pulls you back down. In your health, the same ailments appear in the same areas of your body: chronic throat issues, recurring lower back pain, migraines that no doctor can fully explain. Cayce believed these were often linked to past life injuries or misuse of the body in ways that left an energetic scar. But here is the hidden gift. Patterns are breadcrumbs. They show you exactly where your soul is trying to grow. They are not punishments. They are pointers. Follow them back to their source, and you will find the lesson waiting. This is not the same as psychological pathology, though the two can overlap. Therapy helps you understand the patterns from this lifetime. Karmic awareness helps you understand why the patterns existed before this lifetime even began. One completes the other. And yet, patterns are not the only clue your soul leaves behind. Sometimes, karma speaks through the people you cannot forget. You meet someone for the first time, and within seconds, before you even exchange names, you know them, not in facts, not in details about their life, but in essence. In some bone-deep way that defies explanation, this stranger feels like home, or like danger, or like someone you have been searching for without realizing you were searching. This is not infatuation. It is not projection. It is soul-level recognition. Edgar Cayce taught that we do not incarnate alone. We travel in soul groups, clusters of souls who reincarnate together again and again to work through shared karma, to support one another's growth, to complete what was left unfinished. And when you meet someone from your soul group, your soul recognizes them before your conscious mind has any idea what is happening. There are different types of instant recognition, and each carries its own karmic signature. First, there is comfort. You meet someone and immediately trust them. The conversation flows as if you have known each other for years. You feel seen, understood, held in a way that is rare and precious. This often indicates a positive past life bond. Perhaps you were teacher and student, close friends, family members in another era. The ease you feel is the soul remembering love. Then there is repulsion. You meet someone and without any logical reason you distrust them. Something about them sets off alarm bells. You cannot point to anything they have done wrong, but every instinct in your body says, stay away. This may indicate unresolved conflict between your souls. Perhaps in another life, this person harmed you, or you harmed them. The wound is still there, unhealed, and your soul remembers even if your mind does not. And finally, there is magnetic attraction, an overwhelming pull towards someone, even when logic screams that this is a bad idea. You feel drawn to them in ways you cannot control or explain. This is often a sign of soul contracts, agreements made before birth to meet again, to resolve something left incomplete. It might be forgiveness that was never given, a vow that was never fulfilled, a love that ended too soon. The mechanism is simple. The Akashic Records store relational imprints. Every significant relationship you have ever had across all lifetimes leaves a trace. And when you meet that soul again, your subconscious recognizes the trace before your conscious mind catches up. These relationships are not accidents, they are appointments. The unfinished karma between you might be forgiveness, learning to release resentment and choose peace. It might be the completion of a vow you made long ago, or it might be learning to love differently than you did before. But here is the caution: not every intense connection is meant to be. Not every soul contract is romantic. Some people enter your life to teach you boundaries. Some enter to teach you release. Some enter to teach you that love does not always mean staying. The soul knows the difference between a lesson and a lifetime. And sometimes the karma is not tied to a person at all. Sometimes it is tied to a place. There are places on this earth that call to you. You have never been there. You have no logical reason to care about them. And yet you feel pulled toward a specific country, a specific city, a landscape you have only seen in photographs. When you finally visit, the ground feels familiar beneath your feet. The air smells like memory. You have the overwhelming sense that you have come home, even though this is supposedly your first time here. Or the opposite happens. You arrive in a place that should be beautiful, that everyone else seems to love, and you feel nothing but dread. An inexplicable aversion rises in your chest, and you cannot wait to leave. This is karmic geography. According to Edgar Cayce's readings, locations hold energetic imprints of past lives. Significant events, births, deaths, loves, traumas, spiritual awakenings, leave residue in the land itself. The earth remembers what happened on it. And when your soul returns to a place where something important occurred, it resonates. Your etheric body recognizes the vibration, even if your conscious mind has no idea why. Let me give you examples. An obsession with ancient Egypt. You have never studied it formally, but you are drawn to the pyramids, the hieroglyphs, the mythology. You collect books about it. You dream about it. Cayce found in many of his readings that souls who felt this pull had past life connections to Egypt, often as priests, scribes, or students in the mystery schools. The same can be true for ancient Greece, Rome, Tibet, the Celtic lands. These are not random interests. They are memories surfacing. Or perhaps you have a phobia of the ocean, despite never having had a traumatic water experience in this lifetime. You cannot explain it, but the thought of deep water fills you with terror. Cayce would say, this is often a sign of past life drowning. The soul remembers the feeling of being pulled under, of losing breath, and it carries that fear forward as a protective mechanism. Some people feel they belong somewhere despite no logical connection. A woman raised in the American Midwest who feels certain she should be living in the Scottish Highlands. A man who has never left his hometown but is convinced his soul is tied to the deserts of Morocco. The mechanism is resonance. Your etheric body, The energetic blueprint that underlies your physical form vibrates at a certain frequency. Locations where you lived significant past lives hold a matching frequency. When you return, even just in proximity, your soul recognizes the match. It feels like coming home because, in a very real sense, it is. The opportunity here is profound. Returning to these places, physically or even just meditatively, can help release trapped energy. It can help complete old cycles. Sometimes, simply acknowledging the connection is enough. I lived here before, I loved here, I suffered here, and now I release it. But karma does not only speak in pulls and attractions. Sometimes it speaks in fears you cannot explain. There are fears inside you that make no sense. Deep, primal, body-shaking fears that have no basis in this lifetime. You have never been in a fire, but the thought of flames sends you into a panic. You have never been trapped, but small spaces make you feel like you are dying. You have never been abandoned, but the fear of it haunts you like a shadow you cannot shake. These are not neuroses. They are not irrational, even though they seem irrational. They are echoes. According to Edgar Cayce, phobias often trace back to past life deaths or traumas. The soul remembers the feeling even when the conscious mind does not remember the event. And because the trauma was never fully processed in that lifetime, because the soul carried it forward unresolved, it resurfaces here now, asking to finally be healed. Let me walk you through some of the most common phobia karma links that Cayce identified in his readings. Water-related fears, fear of drowning, fear of deep water, fear of the ocean. These often point to past life deaths by drowning, perhaps a shipwreck, perhaps a river crossing that went wrong, perhaps something even more intentional. The soul remembers the terror of losing breath, of being pulled under, and it brings that memory forward as a warning. Be careful near water. Fear of heights, fear of falling. Cayce found that these were frequently linked to past life falls or executions. Perhaps you were pushed from a cliff. Perhaps you fell from a great height during battle. Perhaps you were thrown from a tower as punishment. The sensation of falling, of losing control, of knowing death is coming, imprinted itself so deeply that your soul refuses to go near edges even now. Claustrophobia, fear of enclosed spaces. This often traces to imprisonment, being buried alive, or being trapped in situations where escape was impossible. The soul remembers the walls closing in, the air running out, the helplessness. And so, in this life, it avoids anything that even remotely resembles that experience. And then there are the emotional phobias. Fear of betrayal, fear of abandonment. These do not always trace to dramatic past life events. Sometimes they trace to quiet ones, a lover who left without warning, a family that cast you out, a friend who turned against you when you needed them most. The wound is not always about violence. Sometimes it is about trust broken so completely that the soul decided, I will never let myself be that vulnerable again. Why does the fear persist across lifetimes? Because the trauma was not processed. There was no closure, no healing, no integration. The soul simply carried it forward, hoping that this time, in this life, you would have the resources to finally release it. The healing path is not about forcing yourself to get over it. It is about recognizing the fear as information, not as a defect in your character. It is about saying to your soul, I see you, I understand why you are afraid, and I am here now. We can heal this together. Past life regression therapy can sometimes provide profound release. Under the guidance of a skilled practitioner, you can revisit the traumatic event, witness it from a place of safety, and allow the trapped energy to finally move through you. But even without regression, you can heal. Cayce recommended affirmations, meditation, and gradual exposure paired with spiritual context. Speak to your fear. Thank it for trying to protect you, and then gently ask it to let go. You are not broken, you are remembering, and memory, once acknowledged, can finally dissolve. But fear is only one signature of unfinished karma. Sometimes, karma reveals itself through something far more beautiful. Through talent you never learned. There are children who sit down at a piano and play as if they have been playing for years. There are people who pick up a language and it feels less like learning and more like remembering. There are artists who create with an ease that seems impossible, healers whose hands know exactly where to touch, leaders who step into authority as if they have always held it. And we call them prodigies, we call them gifted, we call them lucky. But Edgar Cayce had a different explanation. Skills mastered in past lives become imprinted in the soul's blueprint. You do not start from zero, you resume where you left off. In thousands of his readings, Cayce traced natural abilities back to specific past life training. A musician who could play by ear was often a temple musician in ancient Egypt or Greece. A healer with an intuitive understanding of the body was often a physician, herbalist, or shaman in a previous incarnation. A natural leader who seemed born to command was often someone who held positions of authority before kings, generals, spiritual teachers. The mechanism is simple. The soul learns, and what the soul learns it keeps, not in the form of conscious memory, but in the form of energetic imprint. When you return to that skill in a new life, the pathways are already there. The muscle memory is already there. It is not magic, it is continuity. But here is the karmic implication. Talent is not random luck. It is earned. And because it is earned, it carries responsibility. The soul must decide, will I use this gift selflessly in service to others, or will I squander it, hoard it, use it for ego or harm? This is where the shadow side of karmic talent appears. Sometimes, a soul returns with a gift, but also with a block. Cayce found this pattern repeatedly in his readings. A healer from a past life who misused their knowledge, who manipulated, who harmed, who exploited, returns in the next life still gifted, but unable to fully access the gift until they recommit to using it with integrity. The block is not punishment, It is protection. The soul is saying, I will not let you hurt people with this power again, not until you prove you have learned. So if you have a natural ability, if there is something you can do with ease that others struggle with, ask yourself, how is this meant to serve? Who benefits from this gift besides me? What is my soul asking me to do with this? Because karma is not just about balancing debts. It is also about honoring gifts. And the greatest honor you can give a gift is to use it in love. Gifts reveal karma, but so do the relationships that hurt you most. You have been here before. The relationship starts differently. The person seems different. You are sure this time it will not be the same. And then, like clockwork, it happens again. The betrayal, the abandonment, the slow erosion of trust until you are left standing in the wreckage, asking the same question you have asked 100 times. Why does this keep happening to me? This is one of the most painful signs of unfinished karma, and it is also one of the most important. According to Edgar Cayce, relationship patterns that repeat, especially patterns of betrayal, abandonment, or violated trust, often indicate one of two karmic dynamics. The first, you betrayed or abandoned others in a past life, and you are now experiencing the energetic reversal, not as punishment, but as understanding. The soul that harms must eventually know what harm feels like, not to be shamed, but to truly comprehend the weight of its actions. This is how empathy is built across lifetimes. The second, you made soul contracts before birth to learn trust, boundaries, or self-worth through these challenges. You chose to incarnate into circumstances where these lessons would be unavoidable. You chose the hard way because the hard way is the only way the lesson could be learned deeply enough to change you. Why do these patterns play out in relationships? Because karma is most effectively worked through connection. The mirror of relationship reveals what solitary introspection cannot. It shows you your wounds, your projections, your unhealed places. And it asks, will you heal this or will you repeat it? Let me take why. Go deeper into the layers of this karma. On the surface, the question is, why do I always pick the wrong person? But that is not really the question. The real question, the one your soul is asking, is deeper. It is, what am I being asked to learn about my own worth? Why do I believe I deserve this treatment? Where did I lose the knowing that I am valuable, that I am enough, that I do not need to earn love? And even deeper, how did I treat others when I held the power? In a past life, when I was the one with control, with authority, with the ability to hurt, what did I do? Did I wield that power with care? Or did I wield it carelessly, cruelly, without thought for the pain I caused? This is the hardest truth to face, but it is also the most liberating, because once you see it, you can stop running from it. You can stop blaming yourself. You can stop seeing yourself as a victim of fate. You are not a victim, you are a student, and the lesson, though painful, is trying to set you free. Cayce also identified a specific pattern he called the empath trap. Many empaths, those who feel deeply, who absorb the emotions of others, who cannot bear to see suffering, carry karma related to past life abuse of power. They return as sensitive, compassionate souls, but also prone to victimhood, to martyrdom, to losing themselves in others' needs. Why? Because they are learning the other side. They are learning what it feels like to be powerless. And through that learning, they are becoming whole. The healing is not about fixing your picker. It is not about choosing better partners next time, though that may be part of it. The healing is about excavating the soul lesson. It is about asking, what is this teaching me? And often the answer is, you are learning to love yourself first. You are learning to set boundaries without guilt. You are learning to forgive without requiring reconciliation. You are learning that you are not responsible for saving anyone but yourself. And sometimes, karma is not written into your relationships at all. Sometimes it is written into your body. Your body is not separate from your soul. It is the vessel your soul chose, yes, but it is also the record keeper. The body stores energetic imprints from past lives, injuries, deaths, misuse, and these imprints can manifest as chronic illness, recurring pain, or weakness in specific areas that resist conventional treatment. This was one of Edgar Cayce's most profound teachings, somatic karma, the idea that the body holds memory across lifetimes. Let me give you examples from Cayce's readings so you can see the pattern. Throat and thyroid issues, chronic sore throats, thyroid dysfunction, difficulty speaking or swallowing. Cayce traced these again and again to past life strangulation, silencing, or misuse of voice. Perhaps you were strangled to death. Perhaps you were silenced for speaking truth. Or perhaps, and this is harder to face, perhaps you misused your voice. Perhaps you lied, manipulated, cursed, or used words as weapons. The throat holds the karma of speech, and when speech has been corrupted or violated, the throat suffers. Heart conditions. Cayce found that many heart-related illnesses traced to unresolved grief, lovelessness, or emotional cruelty. Perhaps in a past life, you closed your heart to protect yourself and you never opened it again. Perhaps you were cruel to someone you loved. Perhaps you withheld love when it was most needed. The heart is the center of love, and when love has been blocked or weaponized, the heart carries the scar. Reproductive issues, infertility, menstrual disorders, sexual dysfunction. Cayce often linked these to past life sexual trauma, violations, or misuse of creative and sexual energy. The sacral chakra, the energy center that governs sexuality and creativity, holds the memory of how that energy was used or abused. And until the trauma is acknowledged and healed, the body may resist full function in that area. Eye problems, vision issues, especially those that appear without clear medical cause. Cayce sometimes traced these to a refusal to see truth in a past life, or to being literally blinded, either as punishment or as a result of injury. The eyes are the organs of perception, and when perception has been distorted or destroyed, the karma lingers. Why does the body carry these imprints? Because the etheric body, The energetic blueprint that underlies your physical form is the bridge between soul and flesh. Karmic imprints embed there first, and if they are not healed energetically, they eventually manifest physically. But here is what you must understand. Illness is not punishment. It is communication. Your body is not failing you. It is speaking to you. It is saying, there is unresolved energy here. There is a wound that needs attention. Heal this, and I can heal too. So how do you heal somatic karma? First, address the physical symptoms medically. Karma does not negate medicine. If you need surgery, medication, physical therapy, do it. The soul does not ask you to suffer unnecessarily. But simultaneously, address the energetic layer. Meditate on the affected area. Ask it, what are you holding? What are you trying to tell me? Journal about it. Sit with it. Listen. Cayce also recommended specific affirmations to rewrite the karmic imprint. For throat issues, for example, he would suggest affirmations like, I speak my truth with love and courage. My voice is a force for good. For heart issues, I am safe to love. I am safe to be loved. My heart is open and whole. And perhaps most importantly, forgiveness work. Forgive yourself for any past life misuse of the body. Forgive others for harm done to your body. Forgiveness does not mean condoning. It means releasing the energetic charge so the body can finally let go. Your body is not your enemy. It is your most loyal ally, carrying your soul's story in every cell, waiting patiently for you to listen. The body whispers, but sometimes karma shouts. Through crisis, there are ages when life seems to explode. Everything that felt stable suddenly collapses. Marriages end, careers implode, health crises appear out of nowhere, friendships shatter, worldviews crumble, and you stand in the wreckage asking, what just happened? These are not random disasters. They are soul checkpoints. Edgar Cayce taught that the soul sets alarm clocks before incarnating. At certain ages, often around 28 to 30, around 42, around 56, unresolved karma must surface for resolution. If you have been ignoring it, avoiding it, burying it beneath busyness and distraction, the soul will force the issue. It will create a crisis large enough that you cannot look away. In astrology, these are called Saturn returns, the ages when the planet Saturn completes its orbit and returns to the position it occupied at your birth. But you do not need to believe in astrology to recognize the pattern. The ages align with major developmental stages, times when the soul asks, are you living in alignment with your purpose? If not, here is your course correction. Let me describe the types of upheavals that often occur. Relationship implosions. Marriages that seemed solid suddenly fall apart. Friendships that felt unshakable dissolve overnight. The people who were supposed to be there forever aren't. This is the soul clearing out relationships that have completed their purpose, making room for new connections aligned with your next phase of growth. Career collapses or forced pivots. You lose the job you thought you would retire from. The business you poured everything into fails. The path you were walking dead ends, and you are forced to choose a completely different direction. This is the soul saying, you were not meant to stay here. This was a stepping stone, not a destination. Health crises that demand lifestyle overhaul. A diagnosis that changes everything. A body that finally says, I cannot keep doing this. A wake-up call that forces you to prioritize yourself, perhaps for the first time in your life. And spiritual awakenings that shatter old worldviews. Suddenly, everything you thought you knew about God, about reality, about who you are, no longer makes sense. You are thrust into a dark night of the soul, where all certainties dissolve, and you must rebuild your understanding from the ground up. Why do these upheavals happen at specific ages? Because the soul operates on cycles. It knows that certain lessons cannot be learned until you have accumulated enough life experience. And it knows that if you do not course correct at 29, the misalignment will compound. By 42, the cost of staying off path will be unbearable. The gift hidden in chaos is this. These upheavals are mercy, not punishment. Your soul is trying to steer you back on track before you invest more years, more energy, more of your precious life in something that was never meant for you. Cayce's advice was simple: do not resist the breakdown. It is a breaking open. Surrender, ask, what am I being redirected toward? And listen, the answer will come, not always in words, but in the quiet knowing that rises when you stop fighting and start trusting. Even in crisis, you are not powerless. Karma creates the conditions. Free will chooses the meaning. You can see this as disaster, or you can see it as liberation. The choice, as always, is yours. A crisis is loud, but karma also speaks in whispers. In the dreams, you cannot forget. You wake in the dark, heart pounding, the images still vivid behind your closed eyes. It is the same dream again, the same scenario, the same emotions, the same unresolved ending. Or it is a nightmare set in a place you have never been, wearing clothes you have never worn, speaking a language you do not know. And yet, it feels more real than memory. These are not random firings of neurons. They are karmic portals. Edgar Cayce taught that during sleep, the conscious mind rests, but the soul becomes active. The barriers between this life and other lives thin. And in that liminal space, the soul accesses the Akashic Records, reviewing past life memories, processing unresolved karma, offering you glimpses of what still needs to be healed. Let me describe the types of karmic dreams that people most commonly experience. First, dreams set in historical settings. You are in another era, medieval Europe, ancient Rome, feudal Japan. You are wearing unfamiliar clothes. The architecture is different. The people speak differently. But you know somehow that this is you. These are often literal past life memories surfacing. Your soul is showing you, this is where you have been. This is what you have lived. Then there are recurring themes: being chased, falling, drowning, losing loved ones, arriving too late to save someone. These reflect unresolved trauma or fear that the soul is trying to process. The repetition is the soul's way of saying, pay attention. This is important. This needs to be healed. And finally, dreams of unfinished tasks. You are searching for something you cannot find. You are trying to complete a mission but keep encountering obstacles. You arrive somewhere, but you are too late. These often indicate past life vows or contracts that were not fulfilled. The soul is trying to complete what was left undone. Why do these dreams recur? Because the soul is offering you a chance to witness the karma, to understand its origin, so you can choose differently in waking life. It is not haunting you, it is teaching you. So how do you work with karmic dreams? First, keep a dream journal. Write down everything you remember immediately upon waking, before the conscious mind edits or rationalizes. Over time, patterns will emerge. You will see the recurring symbols, the recurring emotions, the recurring figures. Second, before sleep, set an intention. Speak to your soul. Show me what I need to see. Show me what needs to be healed. The soul responds to invitation. Third, upon waking, meditate on the feeling, not just the plot. The emotions in the dream are the key. Fear, grief, rage, longing. These are the energies that need to be acknowledged and released. And if the dreams are particularly intense or disturbing, seek guidance. A therapist trained in dream work, a spiritual counselor, or a practitioner skilled in past life regression can help you navigate what your soul is trying to show you. Dreams are not random. They are your soul's night school, offering lessons you may have missed during the day. Dreams show you the past, but some souls also sense the future. The future they are trying to avoid. You know something is going to happen before it does. Not logically, not through any information you could point to. You just know, felt knowledge rising from somewhere deeper than thought, or you experience déjà vu so powerful it stops you mid-sentence. I have lived this exact moment before. This is not coincidence. It is karmic loop recognition. According to Edgar Cayce, time is not linear in the soul's realm. The soul exists outside of time, able to perceive past, present, and future as a unified field. Déjà vu may indicate one of two things. Either you are experiencing a karmic loop, repeating a choice point from a past life, or you are recognizing a moment that your soul previewed before birth, during the planning stages of this incarnation. Let me explain both. A karmic loop is a moment where you face the same decision you faced before in another life. The circumstances may be different, but the essence is the same. Do you choose love or fear? Do you choose truth or safety? Do you choose yourself or others? The déjà vu is your soul saying, you have been here before, you made one choice then. Will you choose differently this time? These moments are profound opportunities. They are the pivot points where karma can be completed or repeated. The second type of déjà vu comes from pre-birth planning. Before you incarnated, your soul, along with your guides, your soul group, previewed this life. You saw the major turning points, the key relationships, the challenges you would face. And now, living it, your soul recognizes the moment. It is not that you are remembering the future, you are remembering the blueprint. Examples of this type of knowing appear across all domains of life. You meet someone and know immediately that they will betray you, not because of anything they have said or done, but because your soul remembers they betrayed you in a past life, and the pattern is about to repeat. You sense an accident or danger before it happens. Your soul, accessing information outside of linear time, is trying to protect you. Or you know with absolute certainty that a certain path will lead to suffering, even though it looks appealing on the surface. Your soul has walked that path before. It knows where it ends. Cayce's guidance was simple: trust the knowing. The soul has access to information the mind does. Do not dismiss it as anxiety or paranoia. Pause, listen, ask, what is my soul trying to tell me? And when déjà vu strikes, do not rush past it. Stop, breathe, ask, what am I being invited to learn or change in this moment? Because these are not glitches in the matrix. They are invitations to complete old patterns and choose new ones. And finally, perhaps the clearest sign of all, the sense that you do not belong. You have felt it your entire life. As a quiet, unshakable knowing, I do not belong here. This is not home. Not in a dramatic way, not in a way that makes you dysfunctional or unable to live your life, but underneath everything, the routines, the relationships, the responsibilities, there is a hum of displacement, a sense that you are a stranger on this earth, that everyone else received an instruction manual you were never given, that you are participating in a play whose script you cannot quite read. This is not depression, though depression can accompany it. This is not alienation, though it can feel like that too. This is the old soul displacement syndrome, and it is one of the most profound signs of karmic completion. Edgar Cayce taught that this feeling often indicates one of three things. First, you are an old soul. You have incarnated many, many times. Earth's lessons no longer feel new to you. You have learned them, cycled through them, exhausted them. You are here now not for personal growth, but for service, to hold light, to anchor wisdom, to help others wake up. But because you are not here to learn, you feel a quiet boredom, a homesickness for the realms beyond this one. Second, you are what some traditions call a starseed, a soul whose origin is not Earth. Cayce hinted at this in some of his readings, suggesting that some souls incarnate from other dimensions, other planes of existence, and they carry that displacement because Earth is not, was never, and will never be their true home. They are visitors, here for a specific purpose, and they long to return. And third, you are here to finish specific karma, but your soul remembers the freedom of the in-between. It remembers the space between lives, where there is no pain, no limitation, no density. and it longs to go back. The displacement is the soul's grief at being temporarily bound again. How does this feeling manifest? Chronic loneliness, even in crowds. You can be surrounded by people and still feel utterly alone because no one seems to understand the way you see the world. Feeling developmentally out of sync with your peers. Either you feel much older, wiser, more weary than people your age, or you feel younger, less invested in the markers of adult life that everyone else seems to care about. Nostalgia for places or times you have never experienced. You long for medieval castles or ancient temples or futuristic cities. You feel homesick for epochs that ended long before you were born. And difficulty committing to earthly life. Relationships feel too heavy, careers feel too confining, material goals feel meaningless, because part of you knows this is all temporary. None of this is real in the way the soul is real. But here is the shadow. This feeling can become spiritual bypassing. It can become an excuse to avoid responsibility, to refuse intimacy, to float through life without ever landing. I don't belong here can become, I don't have to try here. The karmic truth is this: you chose to be here. You chose this life, this body, this earth. And the displacement you feel is the final lesson, learning to be fully present in a world that feels foreign. Mastery is not escape. Mastery is embodiment. The gift you carry is profound. Your not belonging is also your medicine. You see through illusions that others accept as truth. You carry wisdom from other lifetimes, other realms. Your job is not to flee. Your job is to ground that wisdom here in this dense, beautiful, broken world and offer it in service to those who are ready to receive it. You are not a mistake. You are an emissary. So you have recognized the signs. You have seen yourself in one or several or all of them. Now what? Now we shift from identification to action, from seeing to doing, because recognizing your karma is only the beginning. The real work is what you do with that recognition. I want to walk you through a process I call the karmic audit. It is a self-assessment done without judgment, designed to help you understand the specific karma you are working with so you can begin to complete it. Find a quiet space, bring your journal, and let us begin. Step 1. List your signs. Go through the 11 signs we have explored. Which ones resonated most deeply? Do not force this. Do not try to claim all 11 because you think you should. Authenticity matters more than completeness. Write down only the signs that made you pause, that made you feel seen, that sparked recognition. Step 2. Identify the pattern's theme. Look at the signs you listed. What do I have in common? Is there a central theme running through them? Is it about trust, about power, about love or voice or boundaries or worthiness? Name the theme in 1 or 2 words. Step 3. Ask the soul question. Sit quietly, close your eyes, Place your hand on your heart and ask, what is this karma trying to teach me? Do not rush, do not force an answer. Simply sit with the question, meditate on it, journal about it. Let the answer come in its own time. It may come as words, it may come as an image, it may come as a quiet knowing that settles in your chest. Step 4. Trace the thread. Do your signs connect? For example, chronic throat issues combined with fear of speaking up, combined with being silenced in relationships. These are not separate issues. They are one thread. They point to a karmic pattern around voice, around being heard, around speaking truth, around using words with power and integrity. Or another example, instant recognition of a specific person, combined with recurring dreams of betrayal, combined with relationship patterns of abandonment. One thread, past life betrayal, surfacing now to be healed. Write out the thread, see the connections. This is how you begin to understand the architecture of your karma. Step 5. Name the lesson. In one clear sentence, what is your soul learning? For example, I am learning to use my voice with love, not fear. I am learning to trust myself, even when others betray me. I am learning that my worth is not earned, it is inherent. I am learning to hold power without misusing it. Write this sentence down, put it somewhere you will see it daily. This is your soul's curriculum distilled. Edgar Cayce reminded us again and again, the goal is not to clear karma like items on a checklist. The goal is to meet it with consciousness, to see it, to understand it, to transform debt into wisdom. You do not need a psychic reading. You do not need regression therapy, though both can be helpful. Most karmic awareness comes through honest, patient self-reflection. And here is the liberating truth. Karma is not fate, it is context. Once you understand it, you can work with it, not against it. You can stop repeating and start completing. Now let me give you practical tools to do exactly that. Someone you love is carrying heavy karma. You see them struggle. You see them repeat painful patterns. You see them hurt themselves again and again despite your best efforts to help. And you feel helpless. You want to save them, to fix them, to take the burden from their shoulders. But you cannot. And this is one of the hardest truths to accept. You cannot do someone else's karmic work. Karma is sovereign. Trying to save someone from their lessons does not help them. It delays their growth. It robs them of the very experiences their soul came here to have. So what can you do? You can bear witness. You can say, I see you struggling, I am here. Not to fix, not to rescue, but simply to be present. Sometimes that is the greatest gift. You can normalize the struggle. If they are open to it, you can gently share this knowledge. What if this pattern is teaching you something? What if your soul chose this challenge because it needs to learn from it? Do not force this perspective. Offer it lightly and let them take it or leave it. You can hold space, without fixing. Resist the urge to jump in with solutions. Resist the urge to make their pain go away. Just sit with them. Listen. Reflect back what you hear. Trust that their soul knows what it is doing, even if their conscious mind does not. You can model your own work. The best teaching is not words. It is living your own karmic completion with integrity. When they see you meeting your patterns with courage, with honesty, with grace, they will learn more from that than from any advice you could give. And you must know when to step back. If someone weaponizes their karma, I cannot help it. It is my past life. I am just this way, you have to accept it. They are avoiding responsibility. They are using karma as an excuse rather than engaging with it as curriculum. You can love them, but you do not have to enable them. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is step back and let them face the consequences of their choices. There will be times when you watch someone you love repeat painful cycles, and it will break your heart. Breathe through it, cry if you need to, and then release it. Their karma is not your failure. Your love does not fail by refusing to fix them. Love witnesses, and sometimes witnessing is enough. Let us return now to where we began. Karma is not cosmic punishment. It is love's most intricate design. Every karmic knot, every painful pattern, every wound that will not heal, these are not signs that the universe hates you. They are signs that the universe loves you so much, it will give you as many chances as you need to learn love. That is what Edgar Cayce understood. That is what the ancient Wisdom traditions have always taught. Karma is the soul's curriculum written by love, for love, in service to love. Let me reframe the 11 signs one final time, so you can see them not as burdens, but as invitations. Compulsive patterns are opportunities to choose differently. Instant recognition of strangers is a chance to heal old relational wounds. Attraction to specific locations is your soul offering you a homecoming. Irrational fears are doorways to release ancient trauma. Natural talents are gifts earned across lifetimes, asking to be used in service. Relationship patterns of betrayal are mirrors showing you where you need to reclaim your worth. Chronic illness in specific body parts is your body asking for energetic completion. Life upheavals at key ages are course corrections, steering you back to your path. Recurring dreams are your soul's night school, teaching what the day could not. A prophetic knowing and déjà vu are choice points, where karma can be completed or repeated. And the feeling of not belonging is the final lesson, learning to embody your wisdom fully, even in a world that feels foreign. Every struggle is a signature you left yourself, a reminder of what you came here to master. And when you finally complete the lesson, when the pattern breaks, when the fear dissolves, when the debt is paid, you will feel it. Not as triumph, as homecoming. The ultimate paradox is this: you are both indebted and free. The karma is real. Your sovereignty is also real. You signed contracts before you were born, yes, but you also have the power to complete them, to rewrite them, to transcend them through love. The soul does not graduate from karma. It transcends through love. Every act of kindness rewrites the ledger. Every moment of forgiveness erases a line. Every choice made in consciousness rather than reaction shifts the balance. You are not here to be perfect. You are here to be awake, to meet your life with courage, to transform debt into devotion, to remember that beneath every wound, every fear, every pattern, there is only love trying to find its way home. If these signs resonated with you, know this: you are not alone. There are millions of souls on this planet right now, waking up to their karma, recognizing the patterns, choosing to complete rather than repeat. You are part of a global awakening, a collective remembering. Share this with someone who needs to understand their patterns. Send it to a friend who is struggling. Post it where others can find it. We heal faster when we heal together. Subscribe if you want to continue this journey. I will keep exploring the soul's path, the mysteries of karma, the architecture of awakening. And your presence here, your willingness to look at these hard truths, matters more than you know. Leave a comment below. Tell me, which sign hit closest to home for you? What pattern are you working with right now? Let us build a community of conscious karma workers, supporting one another through the sacred work of becoming. And this week, I invite you to do one thing: pick one sign, just one, journal on it, meditate on it. Ask your soul, what are you trying to teach me through this? Then listen. The answer will come, not always in words, not always right away, but it will come. In a dream, in a conversation, in a moment of sudden clarity. Your soul is always speaking. You just have to learn its language. And now, as we close, I offer you this benediction. May you meet your karma with courage, not shame. May you see your patterns as portals, not prisons. May you remember that every debt is also a gift, every wound a teacher, every lifetime a chance to love more fully. You are not broken, you are not cursed. You are a soul in the sacred work of becoming. And the universe is endlessly patient with your process. You are eternal, you are the traveler, you are both the question and the answer. Your soul's journey does not end here. It continues across lifetimes, across dimensions, across the vast expanse of existence itself. And every step you take toward completion, every pattern you break, every fear you release, every act of love you choose, brings you closer to home. Go gently, go bravely, go with love. And know that you are held. Always.